The topic of today is how did Jordan remove himself from the day-to-day? And topic number 2, the dynamic between the CEO and the founder. How did you guys sync? What was the starting point? How did you understand that you can work together, you can grow a business together? And would be interesting to hear your perspectives on it.
Just to say, let's start from topic number 1 and just ask if, Jordan, you're still in the business, like working inside of the business actually. You assumed that.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely still inside of the business, but it's only because I want to be inside of the business. And I think that's the luxury of having this amazing bald man over here is I can also, my seat is gonna break at any moment. So let me just adjust. Like, for example, I love sales. We have a sales team, but when calls overflow or there's a very, very big brand, I'm more than happy to hop on the call, a specific prospect, or, sometimes I'm in an ad, they click the ad, they book a call, and they want to meet the guy with the mustache, and so I'll show up to some of those prospect calls. But like I told you guys earlier, like from the entire agency perspective, like Mike is the CEO. Like I'm the founder, but if I wanted to, I could go live in a cave with no electricity, no laptop, no phone for 90 days. And after that, I could come out and know that my business has still grown. And I think that is such a luxury that every agency owner wants to have, but just doesn't know how to do it. And it involves finding the right person. It involves a tremendous amount of trust. It doesn't happen overnight. I was at an agency event 2 weeks ago, and the speaker asked a question. He's like, out of everyone in this room, and everybody was an agency owner, raise your hand if you still want to be in the agency 10 years from now. This was a room full of 200 people. Not a single person raised their hand at all. And I think the agency, and Monik Bond, the founder of Search Atlas, says this. He's like, the agency is your lab. The agency is a ginormous cash cow. Like, yes, you can scale it. Yes, you can exit if you want. But I really think what makes the agency so powerful is, one, it's a cash cow. You get to, like, we're building softwares internally. We get to test that with our clients first. Like, how cool is that? And he gets to bring up ideas. He's like, hey, I want to do this. These are the numbers. These are why I think it's a good idea. And I've given him control to just, like, if I say, no, dude, I don't think that's a good idea, like, we'll talk about it, but he has power over me to decide that stuff. Like, he is in control. He is steering the ship. I just check the compass every now and then to make sure we're going in the direction we want to.
When was the moment in your journey as a founder when you realized that, first of all, you want to step out of the day-to-day, second, the way to do it is by having a CEO?
Yeah, so I'll give you the short version of the long version. So we weren't planning on hiring a CEO at all. We did meta ads, Google ads, content, and SEO, and we had a referral partner for email. And what happened is we would send a referral partner, we sent him probably 3/4 of his entire business. And one day, our email partner's wife popped off on TikTok talking about semaglutide, GLP-1, peptides. She exploded, and her business exploded as well. And so he was like, guys, I don't want to run this agency anymore. Do you want our agency? So we got gifted an email marketing agency. And so we're thinking to ourselves, yes, of course we want this agency. We don't know anything about email. And so I hired a recruiting agency. He hired a recruiting agency. And, God bless, Mike applied, which he never applies to any of those recruiting agency LinkedIn DMs that we all get. And we met him. And within the first month, he upsold everybody by about 19 to 21K MRR. So he took all of the existing email clients and he upsold every single one of them. Month 1. Month 2, he's like, guys, I'm bored. Like, what do you want me to do? And I look at my co-founder and I'm like, this guy knows his shit. Like, he's doing way more than we're doing, and we're drowning right now. And keep in mind, Mike came from one of the biggest email marketing agencies in the world. And I think at the time they were doing 700, 800K a month. So he knew what a 700, 800K a month agency looked like. And us at the time, we were doing, I don't know, like 150, 125, and you don't know what you don't know. And you can grow, and we're going to grow. And even if Mike wasn't here, we would still be growing. It's just going to be a lot slower. It's like ready, fire, aim, but he knew where to aim compared to me and my co-founder, because he's been there and he knew what that looked like. And so me and my co-founder met up with Mike and we're like, brother, would you want to be CEO? Like, would you want to handle this thing? And he's like, yes, finally, of course. And ever since then,
more challenge.
Exactly. I mean, this guy loves a challenge. And so I love being in the agency. I'm definitely still in the agency, but again, if I wanted to go meditate with monks in Nepal for 6 months, I know I'd come back and have an agency that's even stronger than it is now.
Yeah. As a founder, what it is that you're doing on a day-to-day right now? I assume still sales a little bit, or?
Still hopping on sales. Yeah. I'm refining a sales process. I think there's still always going to be a transition. I mean, Mike's only been with us for 7 months, 8 months. And so I think it takes a year for it to be a super clean transition, but this guy is going to talk about how we get to like 70-75% gross profit margins with our divisions. He basically like refined the service. I just made sure we were booking enough calls so it made sense acquisition wise.
Yeah.
So yeah, to answer your question, I'm focusing on sales. I'm building a sales system. We're going to hire a setter, which I love. I love doing that stuff. And he's just making sure that, you know, the cogs are tight and everything's oiled up.
Mike, a question to you. How did you make sure that the authority has been transferred? So it's actually a question maybe to both of you. How did you go about receiving the authority from founders and so making sure that the team gets adjusted and used to you being the boss?
So first, I don't look at any titles. Doesn't matter if I'm CEO or he's the founder or somebody else is a growth strategist or email marketing executive, doesn't matter. So we're all aiming towards the same direction, right, as an agency. So if it's a logical thing for me to steer the ship, then I don't care if he's the founder or my partner, it doesn't make sense. We're not looking at titles at all. Everybody at the agency holds certain responsibilities, even him as a founder. He wants to be our CRO and be responsible for revenue at the agency, but only because he wants to do it. That's why he's still in here. How we transferred the authorities was very simple. I started yelling at him because I'm a bald Eastern European. Like, no, brother. No, all jokes aside, I think it was more, they gave me the wings to fly, basically. Like,
Yeah.
take it over. Even though we're founders, we trust you, go ahead. So it was built more on trust at the start.
Interesting. Did you have any moments when you disagreed in a major way, or like anything where you kind of experienced, oh, maybe it's not aligned with the vision, or it's not aligned with how we see things, and how did you overcome? If you had these moments, how did you overcome them?
It's not that we agree upon everything. We're all human beings, so we disagree a lot. But that's healthy, because I'm a type of a leader that I don't enforce. Mike said so, like he's saying I have authority over him because of the title, right? Because I'm the CEO. But I don't make my decisions based on just what I think. So first I want to hear what everybody else thinks. And even these days, like, why do you ask me? You're the CEO, you make the decision. I want to hear what's in your mind. I want to know what kind of impact that's going to be on your mental health, on how you're going to respond after a couple of months, if it fails, if it works. I gotta know, I gotta assess the situation. So yeah, we do disagree. Even now we disagree on some things, but we easily work it out because we trust each other a lot. We trust. I think trust is the fundamental thing here.
If I can add to that.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
No, I was going to ask another question. So
Okay,
go for it.
cool. Yeah, we also follow the RAPID framework. Shout out D-Dang. But what happens is Mike will come with an idea and we'll hop on a team call and he'll present the idea and everybody will give their opinion on this idea, whether it's bad, whether it's good, and eventually that idea gets refined into something, and then that's what we're doing. There's no questions after that. It's like, this is what we're doing and we're gonna make it work. I think whether you hire a CEO, you're the founder, you're control of the company, you need to close more loops than you open. I think with two founders, a CEO, a COO, media buying team, 200 to 300 calls a month right now, like there's always going to be more shiny objects. Oh, we should be doing this. Oh, why are we doing this? What's happening here? Like it's so easy to get distracted, and I'm saying this and it's much harder to practice than to preach about it, but like this is what we're working on a daily basis, is if we have an idea, that's what we're sticking with. And we're not going to let anything get in the way. And this is what we're focusing on for the next 6 months. And this is the KPI that we need to hit after 6 months. And so again, like the goal is to close more loops than you open, because he's one dude, no matter how good he is. And you can do one thing 100% well, or you can do 5 things 20% well. You know what I'm saying? And so again, close more loops than you open. That's really, really what we're trying to emphasize.
You kind of answered my question, because I was going to ask, how do you guys communicate? Like now you're together, right? But I suppose most of the time you're not together in one single place. And you said like when you need to take a decision that you just jump on a call, you present a business case, etc., and like you take a decision. But I suppose not everything's coming from Mike as ideas. What if someone else have an idea? Do you still jump on a ad hoc call, or how do you communicate internally between CEO, COO, and two co-founders?
I'm gonna let Mike answer this.
Well, first, my wife calls him my second wife, and his girlfriend calls me his second girlfriend. We communicate a lot daily, WhatsApp, Slack, but to make a decision or elaborate on an idea, we have two weekly management calls
Okay.
where the four of us sit down for 1 hour and just talk through different topics, and we don't move ahead with any idea or anything major that can take the agency in a different direction without just consolidating the idea as the right path forward between the four of us. Even though I'm the CEO, we have to make a decision all together.
Yeah, that's very interesting, because I think it's hard when you have CEO and COO, and when you add even more people in the mix, like the communication gets even more complex.
Yeah, but everybody's opinion and point of view is very, very valuable.
Yep.
Now, again, as you mentioned, not all of the ideas come from me. Like, obviously, we're all smart, bright people. So what will happen if Jordan as the founder says, I want to enforce this idea no matter what? He's the founder. He can still do that, right?
Yeah.
Even though he's not the CEO. If I'm the CEO, then I can come up with another idea. Then Brandon, the co-founder, he can do the same thing. Israel, even though he is a CEO, he's our partner as well. If everybody just enforces their own ideas, then no chance. That's why we gotta talk through everything together.
I want to go back to focus. You said it's much harder to practice than to preach. I totally agree with it. All of us fall into the same trap every now and then. Shiny objects, and like it's more like a skill that every entrepreneur needs to develop, which is essentially differentiating between what's essential and what's non-essential. And how do you practice it? How do you make sure that you do it, but also the rest of the team kind of gets the same message?
You want to talk about OKRs? We have OKRs. So in the beginning of the year, all right. Thanks for the podcast, guys. We say, okay, we want to have this done. So like a big thing. We have ads taken care of. We have cold email taken care of. Like we're booking calls. It's predictable. We know exactly how many calls we're getting. We know, show up rate, close rate, et cetera, et cetera. So that's predictable. Something that we need to tackle next is organic content. And so we will meet together. We will say, okay, who wants to own organic content? And what I mean by organic content is not necessarily a personal brand, but Carbon Box Media as a brand. How can we start to appear on organic searches? How can, somebody reads an email and the first thing they think, and you guys know this, whether it's an ad or a cold email, who the hell are these guys? Like, what do they think? The first thing they're going to do is be pissed off. The second thing they're going to do is stalk you to see if you're legit. And so we want to have undeniable proof that we know our shit. Excuse my French. I hope we can cuss on this podcast. Yeah. And so we're like, okay, by March 1st, we want to have somebody on our team recording meta content. We want to have somebody on our team recording Google content, email content, SEO content. How can you rank on ChatGPT? Like, what is the future of AI and SEO? Is ranking on Google even relevant anymore? Like, educating the masses. And it's I won't go into it too much. It's not like we want to go viral, but it's more so like YouTube SEO. So if somebody YouTube's like, how to scale past 30K a month and spend, how many creatives you need? We have a video that gets like 200, 300 views just explaining that. And oh, by the way, here are 5 accounts we're managing to showcase. We know what that looks like. Again, we want somebody to do one thing 100% well rather than 5 things 20% well. And so we brought this up as an OKR, and we had my co-founder Brandon, who's head of brand now, and he's building this out. And so, once a week we have a content sesh to talk about like updates, who's owning this, what videos, like how do we scrape some of the top performing ads and like organic videos on YouTube, Instagram, how can we take something that's already like resonating with the market and put our own Carbon Box Media twist on it. And it's just checking up on each other and like calling each other out. Everybody has an ego, but at the same time, we all want to make more money. And I think making more money is more important than keeping an ego. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just making sure everybody's doing what we actually set out to do, checking on them, not annoying them, trusting somebody to actually do it. And I think that's another thing is like, I can trust Mike, I can trust my team to go be an A player and do what they need to do and be like, I know you're going to get this done. Like, let's make sure we're checking up on each other every single week and holding each other accountable. But brother, go get them.
Talking about like common goal, obviously everyone wants to make money. How do you, if you do, actually, what's one main message that you want your team and your business to get, like both of you? Is there something that you repeatedly communicate or been explicit about to the team? Maybe it's like one mission, one goal, a statement, apart from the fact that all of us want to make money. It's just what from our experience, let's say A players, doesn't matter whether it's like senior leadership, founders, or anyone, any high performance individual is motivated by kind of self-actualization. Right, deep down they want to do more stuff, achieve more stuff, feel fulfilled. So money is more like a prerequisite to get the job done. But like, do you guys recognize if you do self-actualization is like maybe a part of the game in a way? And if you do, do you kind of have some sort of message or maybe a set of values or something that you're being explicit to the team about?
Not necessarily, for the reason
I do. but go ahead.
Yeah, you see, we disagree. Most of our executive team, or let's say the upper management team, we're all visual type of professionals. So we want everything to be visualized, how everything can look like in a couple of months from now, years from now. So the first thing that we did for 2026 was we built a roadmap of how we see, now it's not an agency anymore, so how we see the group progressing, becoming CBM 2.0. Carbon Box Media 2.0. How do we envision everything that we're doing to work within a huge ecosystem of other departments, companies, however you want to call them? Because as you know, we acquired an AI agency as well. We have 2 SaaS products now, so it's becoming a lot, and we needed to visualize how all of those different entities will fit into the entire ecosystem. And I believe, that's my belief, now Jordan has his own, that we're all hyped up of what's possible, because we want to set the boundaries so high, the benchmarks so high for the agency world especially, that we will be the ones who every other agency owner will look at and will say, fuck it. How is this possible? How is it possible to be at 80% gross profit margin? How is it possible to coexist together with a founder who holds a title like a CRO, another co-founder who holds a title of head of brand? Are they getting a salary? Are they getting, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So how can you really coexist and do so much shit that a regular human being can comprehend? So in my opinion, I think it's mostly the hype, the enthusiasm that drives us, and it drives the entire team, not just us. So the entire agency, because we empower every human being that works with us to think bigger. So a question to you, how big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail?
This is the 5th time he's asked that question today.
Today. He's brainwashing you.
Yeah, I know. It's good. I mean, that's why he's my CEO, right? I mean, let's break this down to the most like simplistic level there is. Agency is basically just a service provider. We're working with our client. They're giving us money to grow our business. We're giving them our service to grow their business. It's a very mutually beneficial agreement. The best way to make money, going to your question about, is it all about money? No, of course, it's not all about money, but we are in business. But the best way to make a lot of money is to actually deliver a good service, And so if our LTV can go from 6 months to 12 months, the
5th entity on the podcast.
Yeah, I know. It's our sponsor. But I mean, if we can increase our LTV with our clients, that means we're delivering a better service. Therefore, we're making more money. And at the end of the day, like, we're working with these brands that a lot of times are like single founders, they're bootstrapped, they're not VC backed. And if we can take somebody from 50K a month to 900K a month in a year and a half, we are changing that person's life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's all about. And that's what's so fulfilling. And I think being in the service industry, especially in the agency space that have such a bad rep, like 90% of like working with a client is just like answering their questions and having them like, what's going on here? What's like, why aren't we doing this? Et cetera, et cetera. Like, it's 90% just like dealing with shit, 10% of them actually thanking you for the work that you're doing. And so it's about having company culture is such a cheesy like word. I know it's important, but it is. It's about having a good company culture. If like we're not going to get thanked for the work that we're doing from our clients, because people are getting hit up by agencies every single day. Like, just ask your clients how many emails they get from other agencies. They'll check their inbox. It's 12 DMs. It's 5 emails. And so internally, if we get this account a better return on ad spend or a lower CPA, or like we beat last year's February compared to this year's February, we need to celebrate that internally, and we need to hype up our team internally, because the client's not going to thank you at the rate that keeps your team happy. And so internally, we need to be like, hell yeah, man, like, you're doing a great job. I know this client can be a pain in the ass sometimes, but we just want to let you know internally, like, you're kicking ass. And then we have our team of 55, like, Shandon, you're killing it. Michael, you're killing it. Josh, you're doing a great job. There's like 15 emojis celebrating, a bunch of funny gifs. Like, if our team wakes up to that, they're like, you know what? I am doing a good job. This is great. And so, just celebrate your team, and then they feel rewarded, and then they stick around, and then they want to deliver a better service.
Yeah. So the culture is really all about raising self-esteem.
Oh yeah, dude, the agency life is just dealing with shit. Like I said, it's 90% dealing with shit, 10% getting thanked for it.
Yeah, no, you nailed it. Absolutely. That's sort of a prerequisite. If you want to enter the agency space and you want to build an agency business, you have to realize and accept the fact that most of that is just balancing a bunch of different things. Problems, people, processes, clients, and it never stops. All you can do is to rise kind of above all of these problems problems and find some sort of meaning in dealing with all the challenges on a day-to-day basis.
1000%.
Yeah, cool. Shortly, what's next? How do you see maybe the agency space, your agency, evolving over the next 2-3 years?
Well, I'm not the CEO, so I'll let my CEO answer that.
Thank you, dear sir. I think how the agency will look like in 2 to 3 years it's too long these days. So I don't think you can envision what's going to happen in 2 or 3 years from now. What I know for a fact that will happen is that we're going to raise the industry standards. That's my main goal, to really raise the industry standards. And I don't want to be a traditional marketing agency anymore. So AI is involving.
AI for another half an hour.
Yes, but it's reality.
Yeah.
So a lot of things will change, especially in marketing. It's so dynamic, so you can't predict what's going to happen. You can know where you're headed in 2 years, 3 years from now as a business when, I don't know, ChatGPT is launching ads. Who knows what's going to happen with Meta? What's going to happen with another channel? So you don't know what you don't know, right? Where we're going to be headed as Carbon Box is that we're not going to be a traditional agency anymore. We're going to be native AI agency because that is the future, and we're not going to offer individual services anymore. So
super quick. And yes, we're going to be an AI agency, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, AI, it's taking everybody's job. It's like, no. We have a team of 55, 60, okay, 65. I'm out of the business, right? It's how can we use AI to 5x one person's output? It's not like how can we use AI to replace this person and get them off payroll? It's how can we, 5x, 10x this specific person's workflow. And so instead of working on 10 accounts, they can now do 30 accounts at the same effort, 50 accounts at the same effort, right? Again, every client's bottleneck is different, but it's how can we use AI as an accelerator rather than like the make all be all, see you later, AI is cheaper. We don't want to get rid of anybody on our team that we've built a relationship with.
Carbon Box Media team, it was a pleasure. Good luck, and yeah.
Thank you.